What if a single penny could change your life forever? The government stopped making these famous 1943 steel pennies decades ago, but a few rare examples are still worth incredible amounts of money today. In this video, we'll reveal the most valuable 1943 steel pennies that collectors are paying huge money for. Check your old coins carefully. You might be holding a hidden treasure. We are talking about the famous 1943 Abraham Lincoln wheat steel 1 cent with no mint mark, a remarkable coin that can sometimes be worth astonishing amounts of money depending on its condition, rarity, and the presence of unusual characteristics. Imagine reaching into an old coin jar, opening a forgotten family collection, or searching through a box of dusty coins at a flea market and discovering a small silver-colored penny. At first glance, it might appear ordinary, damaged, dirty, and covered with years of dust and grime. Many people would simply ignore it because it does not have the traditional copper color associated with most Lincoln cents. However, knowledgeable collectors immediately recognize that a steel penny from 1943 represents one of the most unique chapters in United States coinage history. The story begins during World War II. By 1943, the United States was heavily involved in the global conflict. Copper was considered a critical war material because it was needed for ammunition, military communications equipment, shell casings, and numerous other wartime applications. Government officials sought ways to conserve copper wherever possible. As a result, the United States Mint made a dramatic decision that changed the appearance of the Lincoln cent for a single year. Instead of striking pennies using the traditional bronze alloy, the Mint produced cents made from steel coated with zinc. This created a coin with a bright silver appearance unlike any Lincoln cent that had come before it. The decision was practical rather than artistic, but it resulted in one of the most recognizable and collectible American coins ever issued. The coin we are discussing today is the Philadelphia issue, identified by the absence of a mint mark beneath the date. Millions upon millions of these coins were struck, yet their historical significance ensures that collectors remain interested in them decades later. The official mintage exceeded 600 million pieces, making it one of the largest production runs of any Lincoln cent. While that might sound like the coin should be common and inexpensive, the reality is much more interesting. Over the years, countless steel cents were lost, melted, damaged, corroded, or discarded. The zinc coating was susceptible to wear, and many examples developed spots, stains, rust-like discoloration, and environmental damage. Consequently, truly attractive examples are much scarcer than many people realize. Even heavily circulated pieces continue to attract attention because of their unique appearance and historical background. Looking closely at the design, the obverse features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. Created by Victor David Brenner, the design first appeared in 1909 and represented a groundbreaking moment in American coinage. Lincoln became the first real historical figure regularly featured on a circulating United States coin. Before that time, American coin designs generally avoided depicting actual presidents. Above Lincoln's portrait appears the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left is the word "Liberty," while the date 1943 appears to the right. Because this example was struck in Philadelphia, there is no mint mark below the date. Collectors often refer to it simply as the 1943 steel cent, or the 1943 Philadelphia steel cent. Turning to the reverse, viewers see the classic wheat cent design. The words 1 cent dominate the center, with United States of America displayed beneath. Along the upper edge appears the motto, E pluribus unum. Framing the design on both sides are 2 wheat ears, which gave the coin its popular nickname, the wheat penny. When examining a dirty and dusty example, many collectors initially wonder whether the coin retains any significant value. The answer depends on several important factors. Dirt alone does not necessarily eliminate collector interest. In fact, many old collections contain coins that have accumulated decades of grime while remaining authentic and desirable. The key is understanding what lies beneath the surface. A heavily circulated steel cent may display worn details, discoloration, scratches, and stains. Nevertheless, if the date remains clear and the major design elements are visible, the coin still serves as a historical artifact from one of the most important periods in American history. Collectors who enjoy assembling date sets frequently seek examples regardless of condition. Auction records reveal that values can vary dramatically. Ordinary circulated examples often trade for modest amounts. However, coins possessing exceptional preservation, original surfaces, unusual striking characteristics, or rare varieties can command substantially higher prices. This enormous gap between common and extraordinary examples fuels the excitement surrounding steel cent collecting. One reason collectors become fascinated with 1943 steel cents is the possibility of discovering unusual minting errors. While most examples were produced according to standard specifications, some left the mint with striking abnormalities. These can include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, die breaks, repunched features, and other production anomalies. Certain error coins have achieved remarkable auction results due to their rarity and visual appeal. Another factor influencing value is the quality of the zinc coating. When freshly struck, steel cents displayed a bright appearance. Over time, exposure to moisture and environmental conditions caused many coins to deteriorate. Collectors pay close attention to the originality of the surfaces because excessive corrosion can significantly affect desirability. Many beginning collectors mistakenly clean old coins in an attempt to improve their appearance. Experienced numismatists generally advise against this practice. Cleaning can remove original surfaces, create unnatural scratches, and reduce collector value. A dusty 1943 steel cent may actually be more desirable in untouched condition than one that has been aggressively polished. Stories frequently circulate about individuals discovering valuable steel cents in inherited collections. These accounts inspire collectors to examine every old coin carefully. While not every steel cent is worth a fortune, the possibility of finding a scarce variety keeps interest alive generation after generation. The historical context surrounding the 1943 steel cent adds another layer of fascination. Every coin represents a tangible connection to wartime America. Citizens carried these coins while factories operated around the clock producing military equipment. Families purchased everyday necessities using the same steel cents that collectors study today. Holding one is like holding a small piece of World War II history. As collector demand has increased over the decades, certified examples have become especially important. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on preservation, strike quality, and overall eye appeal. Higher-grade examples often command significant premiums because they are much more difficult to locate than worn specimens. Some of the most valuable steel cents ever sold achieved impressive auction prices because they combined exceptional condition with outstanding originality. Collectors competing for top registry set rankings frequently pursue the finest known examples, driving values upward. Although such coins represent a tiny fraction of surviving specimens, their sales generate headlines and attract new enthusiasts to the hobby. For a dirty and dusty 1943 steel cent without a mint mark, realistic values can range from a few dollars to much higher amounts depending on condition and authenticity. However, extraordinary examples possessing rare characteristics have been known to achieve dramatically higher auction results. Certain elite collector pieces have crossed into six-figure territory when rarity, quality, and demand align perfectly. This possibility is what makes coin collecting so exciting. A small coin that many people overlook can possess a fascinating story, historical significance, and surprising value. Every mark, every detail, and every characteristic contributes to its identity and appeal within the numismatic marketplace. When collectors evaluate a 1943 steel cent, they carefully inspect the date, lettering, portrait details, reverse design, surface quality, and overall preservation. Even subtle differences can influence market value. Advanced collectors often use magnification to study strike quality and identify unusual features that casual observers might miss entirely. The 1943 steel cent remains one of the most recognizable coins in American numismatics. Its unusual composition, wartime origins, and enduring popularity ensure that collectors continue searching for examples in collections, dealer inventories, and estate holdings across the country. Even after more than 8 decades, interest in these historic coins shows no sign of fading. Next up is the 1943 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Steel 1 cent, featuring the S mint mark, a coin struck at the San Francisco Mint during one of the most significant periods in American history. While millions of these coins were produced to meet the nation's demand for circulating coinage during World War II, certain examples displaying unusual characteristics, minting defects, and dramatic errors have become highly sought-after collectibles capable of generating tremendous excitement whenever they appear at major auctions. Imagine discovering an old steel penny tucked away inside a dusty coin album inherited from a family member. At first glance, it appears worn, dirty, and covered with discoloration that developed over decades of storage. Yet a closer inspection reveals a small letter S beneath the date. For experienced collectors, that tiny mint mark instantly changes the conversation. The coin was struck in San Francisco, one of the three facilities responsible for producing the famous steel cents of 1943. The year 1943 marked a dramatic departure from traditional cent production. Copper was urgently needed for military purposes, forcing the United States Mint to seek an alternative material. The solution was a steel core coated with zinc, creating a silver-colored coin unlike any previous Lincoln cent. The result was one of the most distinctive and memorable coins in American numismatic history. The San Francisco Mint produced hundreds of millions of steel cents during that year. Despite the substantial mintage, collector demand has remained strong because these coins represent a unique one-year type. Every genuine 1943 steel cent serves as a tangible reminder of wartime sacrifice, industrial innovation, and the challenges faced by the nation during World War II. The obverse of the coin displays the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln. The image, designed by Victor David Brenner, had already become one of the most recognizable coin portraits in the world by 1943. Above Lincoln appears the inscription, "In God We Trust." To the left is Liberty, while the date 1943 is positioned to the right. Beneath the date rests the important S mint mark, identifying the coin as a San Francisco issue. The reverse showcases the classic wheat cent design that collectors admire so much. The denomination 1 cent appears prominently in the center, accompanied by United States of America below. At the top is the motto E pluribus unum. Framing both sides are elegant wheat stalks that inspired the nickname wheat penny, a term still commonly used among collectors today. What makes today's coin particularly interesting is the reported lamination damage. Lamination errors occur when impurities, defects, or structural weaknesses develop within the metal before striking. During production, portions of the coin's surface may peel, crack, separate, or lift away. These unusual features create dramatic visual effects that often capture collector attention. Because wartime production required extraordinary efficiency, occasional imperfections found their way into circulation. While most coins were manufactured correctly, some developed striking abnormalities that transformed ordinary cents into collectible error pieces. Lamination flaws remain among the most intriguing examples because they reveal the internal challenges associated with coin production. Collectors examining a 1943 steel cent with lamination damage typically look for evidence that the defect occurred during the minting process rather than after circulation. Genuine mint-caused laminations often display distinctive textures and patterns that differ significantly from ordinary environmental damage. Authentication, therefore, becomes an important step when evaluating potential value. Many people confuse post-mint damage with authentic mint errors. Scratches, gouges, corrosion, and accidental impacts may affect a coin after it leaves the mint. However, a true lamination error originates during the manufacturing process itself. This distinction can have a major impact on collector interest and market value. The popularity of error collecting has grown dramatically over the past several decades. Rather than seeking only perfectly struck coins, many enthusiasts actively search for unusual production mistakes. Error coins tell unique stories about the minting process and provide insights into how coins were manufactured. Each error possesses characteristics that make it different from every other example. When a 1943 steel cent combines historical significance with a dramatic lamination error, collector demand can increase substantially. The coin becomes more than a simple wartime cent. It transforms into a conversation piece that illustrates both American history and minting technology. Condition also plays a critical role in determining desirability. Even when a coin appears dirty, darkened, or heavily circulated, collectors may remain interested if the lamination error is clear and visually impressive. In some cases, the error itself becomes the primary attraction, outweighing other condition concerns. Professional grading services frequently evaluate such coins to confirm authenticity and assign an appropriate grade. Certification provides confidence to buyers and sellers by establishing that the coin has been independently examined. For rare error pieces, professional authentication can significantly enhance marketability. The San Francisco Mint has long enjoyed a special reputation among collectors. Many enthusiasts actively pursue coins bearing the S Mint mark because of their association with Western United States coin production. As a result, 1943 S steel cents often receive considerable attention whenever notable examples appear for sale. Over the years, auction houses have documented impressive results for exceptional steel cents featuring unusual mint errors. Although ordinary circulated examples remain relatively affordable, dramatic error coins can command far stronger prices. Rarity, eye appeal, preservation, and collector demand all contribute to final auction outcomes. One reason collectors become excited about lamination errors is that no two examples are exactly alike. Some display minor surface separations, while others reveal large peeling sections that dramatically alter the coin's appearance. The more dramatic and visually striking the error, the greater the potential collector interest. Imagine a steel cent where part of the surface appears to lift away from the design, exposing unusual textures beneath. Such a coin immediately stands out from ordinary examples. Collectors viewing it at a coin show often stop for a closer look because the error creates a distinctive appearance that cannot be duplicated intentionally. Historical significance further enhances the appeal of these coins. Every 1943 steel cent was produced during a period when the nation focused enormous resources on supporting the war effort. The use of steel, instead of copper, symbolized a practical response to wartime material shortages. Owning one allows collectors to hold a direct connection to that remarkable era. The mintage of 1943 S steel cents reached into the hundreds of millions, ensuring widespread circulation. Yet the number of surviving examples with significant authenticated lamination errors represents only a tiny fraction of total production. This scarcity helps explain why advanced collectors remain willing to compete aggressively for superior pieces. Some collectors specialize exclusively in Lincoln cents. Others focus on mint errors. A coin that combines both categories appeals to multiple segments of the hobby simultaneously. This broader demand often contributes to stronger long-term interest and increased market activity. Auction catalogs frequently highlight unusual steel cent errors because they attract substantial attention from bidders. Collectors appreciate the opportunity to acquire pieces that differ dramatically from standard issues. The combination of visual uniqueness and historical importance creates a powerful collecting appeal. For a heavily circulated 1943 S steel cent with a genuine dramatic lamination error, values can vary widely depending on the severity of the defect, overall preservation, certification status, and market demand at the time of sale. Ordinary examples may trade for modest amounts, while exceptional authenticated error specimens can achieve significantly higher figures. In rare circumstances, highly unusual steel cent errors have attracted intense competition among advanced collectors. When rarity, strong eye appeal, historical significance, and authenticated mint-made characteristics converge in a single coin, auction prices can climb far beyond expectations. Such results contribute to the enduring fascination surrounding wartime Lincoln cents. Collectors continue searching rolls, collections, estate holdings, and dealer inventories hoping to discover overlooked treasures. The possibility of finding an unusual error coin remains one of the most exciting aspects of numismatics. Every old collection carries the potential for surprises. The 1943 S Lincoln wheat steel cent with lamination damage serves as an excellent example of how a small coin can tell a large story. It reflects wartime resource conservation, the craftsmanship of the San Francisco Mint, the realities of mass production, and the enduring passion of collectors who preserve these artifacts for future generations. Even after decades of study, steel cents continue to generate excitement. Their distinctive appearance, fascinating history, and potential for valuable varieties ensure that they remain among the most popular coins in American collecting. Whether discovered in a forgotten box, inherited collection, or major auction, the 1943's steel cent continues to captivate those who appreciate the remarkable stories hidden within America's coinage. Next up, the United States Abraham Lincoln Wheat Steel. 1 cent dated 1943 with the Denver Mint mark. More specifically, we are exploring an extremely rare error variety that has captured the attention of the numismatic community for decades. Even when found in dirty and dusty condition, examples displaying significant minting abnormalities can attract tremendous interest from collectors who understand their rarity and historical importance. To understand why this coin is so special, we first need to travel back to the early 1940s. The United States was deeply involved in World War II, and the federal government was searching for ways to conserve strategic metals needed for military production. Copper was an essential material used in ammunition, communications equipment, and countless military applications. Because of this demand, the United States Mint made a historic decision in 1943. Instead of striking cents using the traditional bronze alloy, the Mint produced pennies from zinc-coated steel planchets. This temporary change created one of the most recognizable coins in American history. For the first and only time in regular circulation, Lincoln cents appeared with a silver-gray color rather than the familiar copper appearance that Americans had known for generations. Millions of citizens immediately noticed the difference. Some people appreciated the unusual look, while others disliked it because the coins were often confused with dimes. The Denver Mint participated heavily in production during this period. Millions upon millions of 1943 steel cents were manufactured to satisfy the nation's need for small change. Official mintage records indicate that more than 217 million steel cents were struck at Denver during 1943. While that may seem like an enormous number, collectors know that mintage alone does not determine value. What truly drives exceptional prices is rarity combined with demand, historical significance, and unusual mint errors. When examining a 1943 steel cent, collectors first notice the classic design created by Victor David Brenner. The obverse displays the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above Lincoln appears the national motto, "In God We Trust." The word liberty is positioned to the left, while the date 1943 and the small D mint mark appear to the right. Despite being a 1 cent coin, the design carries tremendous historical significance because Lincoln was the first real person ever depicted on a circulating United States coin. Although millions of normal 1943 steel cents survive today, collectors become especially excited when they encounter examples displaying major mint errors. Among the most sought after are dramatic die cracks, off-center strikes, double strikes, planchet defects, and lamination-related abnormalities. Such errors occurred during the manufacturing process and create unique characteristics that distinguish a coin from ordinary circulation pieces. The particular variety featured in today's discussion involves a rare error combination that includes a dramatic minting abnormality visible around portions of the date, lettering, and design elements. Collectors searching for these unusual examples often spend years examining rolls, collections, and estate accumulations in hopes of discovering a hidden treasure. One reason these error coins command attention is because every specimen tells a unique story. Unlike standard issues that look nearly identical, error coins possess individual characteristics created by unusual circumstances during production. This uniqueness gives them tremendous appeal among advanced collectors who appreciate minting history. Even more fascinating is the fact that some valuable error coins remain hidden in ordinary collections. Families frequently inherit old jars of coins without realizing that a rare variety may be mixed among common pieces. As a result, stories occasionally emerge about remarkable discoveries made in attics, safety deposit boxes, and long-forgotten collections. Condition also plays an important role in determining value. Normally, collectors prefer coins that remain bright and well-preserved. However, major mint errors can be valuable even when a coin appears dirty, dusty, or heavily circulated. The rarity of the error itself often outweighs cosmetic imperfections. A dirty and dusty appearance may actually indicate decades of circulation history. Such coins often traveled through countless hands, cash registers, and businesses before eventually being recognized as something special. Every scratch and mark can represent a small part of that journey through American history. When evaluating an error steel cent, professional grading services carefully examine several factors. Specialists study strike quality, surface preservation, originality, evidence of cleaning, and most importantly, the authenticity of the error. Because valuable varieties attract counterfeiters, verification by respected experts is essential. Many collectors use powerful magnification tools to inspect 1943D steel cents. Under magnification, tiny details become visible that may not be noticeable to the naked eye. Die breaks, doubling, planchet irregularities, and other abnormalities can dramatically influence value. Another fascinating aspect of steel cents involves their composition. The planchets consisted primarily of steel coated with zinc. This composition helped conserve copper during wartime but created new challenges. The zinc coating could wear away over time, exposing steel underneath and making the coins susceptible to rust. As a result, many surviving examples show discoloration, corrosion, or environmental damage. Because of these issues, collectors are always interested when an unusual steel cent survives with distinctive characteristics. Error coins possessing strong visual appeal often generate intense bidding activity when offered at major auctions. Auction records have repeatedly demonstrated the strength of demand for rare Lincoln cent errors. While ordinary circulated steel cents might sell for modest amounts, dramatic and authenticated error examples can reach astonishing levels. In exceptional circumstances involving highly significant and unique minting abnormalities, collectors have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to secure ownership. Imagine a rare 1943D steel cent displaying a dramatic error combination certified by experts and confirmed as one of the finest known examples. Such a coin could become the focus of competitive bidding among advanced collectors. Wealthy enthusiasts often view these pieces as important historical artifacts rather than simple pocket change. As bidding escalates, prices can climb far beyond what casual observers might expect. A particularly important specimen featuring a major mint error, strong collector demand, and outstanding provenance could potentially achieve auction results exceeding $600,000. In this scenario, a realistic high-end collector value might reach approximately $625,000 at a major specialized auction where multiple determined bidders compete aggressively. Such values are driven by rarity and demand rather than face value. After all, the coin still carries a denomination of only 1 cent. Yet the historical significance, wartime connection, and extraordinary error characteristics transform it into a coveted collectible. Collector interest in 1943. Steel cents remain strong because these coins represent a unique moment in American history. They serve as tangible reminders of wartime sacrifice and industrial adaptation. Every steel cent tells the story of a nation mobilizing its resources during one of the most challenging periods of the 20th century. Educational institutions and museums frequently display steel cents to illustrate how everyday objects changed during World War II. This historical connection contributes to their enduring popularity among collectors of all ages. Younger collectors often begin their numismatic journey by searching through old coin collections for wheat cents. Discovering a steel cent is frequently an exciting milestone because of its distinctive appearance. That excitement can spark a lifelong interest in coin collecting. Advanced collectors, meanwhile, pursue the rarest varieties and errors. Their research often involves studying die states, production records, auction archives, and certification databases. This dedication helps preserve knowledge about important numismatic discoveries. Over the years, countless articles have been written about 1943 steel cents. Researchers continue documenting newly discovered varieties and unusual examples. Each discovery adds another chapter to the ongoing story of these historic coins. The Denver Mint's role in wartime coin production remains an important part of that story. Producing hundreds of millions of steel cents required remarkable efficiency and coordination. Despite these efforts, occasional mistakes inevitably occurred, creating the rare errors collectors treasure today. For investors interested in tangible assets, rare coins offer an intriguing combination of history, rarity, and market demand. Unlike many modern collectibles, important numismatic items possess decades of established collector interest. This long-term appeal contributes to market stability among exceptional pieces. Nevertheless, collectors should always conduct careful research before making major purchases. Authentication, grading, rarity verification, and market analysis are essential factors when evaluating valuable coins. Many experienced collectors recommend focusing on quality rather than quantity. A single exceptional coin with strong rarity and historical significance may be more desirable than dozens of common examples. The 1943D steel cent perfectly illustrates this principle. While millions were produced, only a tiny fraction display the extraordinary characteristics capable of generating intense collector demand and premium auction results. Whenever examining old wheat cents, collectors should pay close attention to dates, mint marks, and unusual features. What appears ordinary at first glance may reveal important characteristics under closer inspection. Stories of remarkable discoveries continue to inspire collectors worldwide. Whether found in inherited collections, antique stores, or forgotten coin jars, rare Lincoln cent errors remind us that hidden treasures can still exist. As interest in numismatics grows, competition for significant error coins is likely to remain strong. Historical importance, limited availability, and collector enthusiasm create a powerful combination supporting long-term demand. The 1943D Lincoln Wheat Steel Cent stands as a symbol of American resilience during wartime. Its steel composition reflects a nation willing to adapt and innovate in support of a larger cause. For collectors, it represents far more than a simple 1-cent coin. It is a surviving witness to history, a product of wartime necessity, and in rare error form, one of the most exciting discoveries a collector can hope to make. Whether viewed as a historical artifact, investment piece, or treasured collectible, its appeal continues